Skip, you got 5 fouls. Don't even put it, especially out for the official to see. You, it's just you and him. You got 5 fouls. Why would you even put yourself in that situation? But I want to know this, Skip. I mean, even if, let's just say for the sake of argument, okay, Ben, you're right. Ja already had 35 at that point. Now, I need to know who was guarding Ja Morant and who was guarding Desmond Bane. Because both of them went for 38. Now, you told me with the addition of Royce O'Neal and Ben Simmons, this was going to be a much better basketball team on the defensive end.
Yep.
And I can't tell. Skip, of 126 qualified players, Ben Simmons has the second worst defensive rating at 129.3. Guess who has the worst defensive rating in the NBA? He happens to be a teammate of Ben Simmons. One, Kevin Durant. So you got 2 of the worst defenders on one team, and you wonder why they get 2 guys that go for 38 apiece. Skip, I told you this. Ben Simmons on the offensive end, you play 4 on 5. Because this is what he's giving you right now. The man now, he's fouled out 2 of the 3 games that he played.
Yep.
Ben Simmons in 3 games is averaging less than 6 points a game. He has 17 points in 3 games and 14 fouls. How's that good for you? But you don't want him to shoot. I told Ben he don't have to shoot. You can't win a championship with Ben Simmons on your team because he's a liability on the offensive end. And at least, Skip, when he was a liability on the offensive end, what could he do? He could lock down one of the best players on the opposing team. Now he can't even do that. Well, so if he can't lock down a defender, he can't lock it down defensively. You already know he's going to give you next to nothing on the offensive end. I don't really know the good that he can do you. You know, my grandpa used to have a saying, tell me and my brother. He said, boys, anything is better than nothing, but you 2 fellas real close to nothing. Ben Simmons, anything is better than nothing, but right now you real close to nothing. Skip, they're playing 4 on 5. It's really simple. It's really as simple as that. I mean, it was a great game last night. I was, flipping back and forth. It's not very often you're going to see 4 players go for 35 or more points in the same game. And when my researcher, Ash, she was like, this is the first time that's happened since 1983. I said, I think it was that game, the Pistons and the Nuggets, the triple overtime game, the highest scoring game in NBA history. I think the final score was 183.
Okay, but that was triple overtime. This was no overtime.
Right. Let you know, hey, nobody playing no defense then. Because at least, Skip, we can make a case. Man, that's 15 extra minutes. This was a regulation game, and you get 4 guys going over 35. And look at the percentage in which they shot. It wasn't like, Skip, somebody was, shot 30% or 40%. Look at that. KD was 14 to 20.
Yep.
Kyrie was 14 to 24. Ja Morant was 12 of 22. Desmond Bane was 14 of 21, 8 of 11 from 3.
8 of 11?
Man, ain't nobody playing no defense. Because one team shot 54% from the field, the Nets. The other team shot 50% from the field and 47% from the 3.
All right, before I address Ben Simmons, allow me to go big picture, then small picture. To your point, I had this game opposite the Monday Night Football game, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. This was a rare pleasure.
Yes.
Because this is offensive firepower, the likes of which we've rarely seen.
Right.
This was 2 established superstars for the Nets, obviously, playing like superstars.
Yes.
And this was a rising superstar in Ja for Memphis. And this is a Desmond Bane who just gets better by the dribble, and he's turning into a star right before your very eyes because he was the ultimate difference in this game.
Yeah.
Although, to your point, you could also argue that Ben Simmons was the difference in this game, or the lack of Ben Simmons. Okay, now, so what happens? I'm watching the postgame on the Nets channel.
Right.
And they go back to SNY and whatever it is, their local carrier. And they play the whole Ben Simmons postgame interview live. So I'm watching it, and I'm spellbound by it because I couldn't believe he was sitting at the interview table in front of the media to start with. And all he wants to talk about is how he got screwed on the 6th foul call. So they go back and forth, and he first says, I'm not going to get fined, and then he just spills all over the referee. Referees have bad nights, too.
Right.
And it was a BS call. Well, it's... Number one, it's BS that you're even bringing it up. You lost. And it was a 6th foul call, and I get this. And by the way, Steve Nash, if we're seeing it, he goes crazier on this call than I've ever seen him go, which was actually a good sign because most of the time he just stands over there like he's Mike McCarthy or somebody. He doesn't do anything. But he goes berserk over it. And then Ja said that he just wanted to get even by baiting Simmons into the sixth foul call for a play that Ben pulled on him 2 years ago when he was a rookie, where it was the old Pat Bev versus Russ play where you're looking to your coach to call timeout, and he just snakes the ball away from you and goes down and dunks it. And Josh said, okay, I got him back because I'm baiting all the way up the floor. Are you going to come? Are you going to come? Are you going to challenge me? Ben should have just jumped on him at half court because the shot clock hasn't started yet.
Until he picks the ball up.
Yeah. And once he touches the ball, then Ben jumps, and Josh says, oh, I got this, and he makes a move, and then Ben bodies him, and
then Josh immediately points.
Yeah.
You got to go. Leave.
You got to go. You're out. Okay. I'm with you on this. I saw one flash in one preseason game when Ben Simmons looked like Ben Simmons. Since then, he's reverted to looking like a guy who suffered amnesia, where he forgot completely that he ever played basketball, and he's trying to relearn how to even play it at all, like at the rudimentary level.
Right.
He's just trying to figure out what are the rules here?
Right.
I don't see any passion. I don't see any urgency. I don't see any intensity. I see him just drifting through the game. He did have 8 assists last night, which is fine, but he had 5 turnovers, and he gave you, as you said, next to nothing anywhere else.
7, 8, and 3?
Yeah, it's just not good enough when you're playing 28 minutes for a team that's pretty good and is depending on you at least to improve them on the defensive end. He would take Ja. Most of the time he had Ja, and Ja was just toying with him.
Ja just go right.
Blow right by him.
Skip, he's better. Look, Trey doesn't have the quickness as Ja.
No.
Ja's just not trying. Although he's improved every year from the 3. He was 4-6 last night.
He was good.
But Ja's getting to the rim. You got hell on your hands trying to stay in front of this little guy and keep him from getting to the rim because he's a Derrick Rose, Russ as far as the explosiveness.
And Iverson,
but he has the quickness.
He does.
Like that when he cross you over, and then his left hand, he gonna extend and get to the rim, and he can finish. He can finish above you.
To my eye, his ability to explosively leap is unparalleled.
He got crazy hard.
It's just something. I'm talking about power leaping, where he's going up at his. What do we give? Is he 6'2" or 6? They list him at 6'3". I don't know what. 6'2" maybe.
Yeah.
He's going up with explosive power, where he's power slamming. He dunked one last night on the break on a Tyus pass, like a lob, and he left hand dunked it and hit himself on top of the ball. Went through so hard it hit himself on the top of the head. Well, it's a power slam. And again, Iverson didn't have that kind of power at the rim.
No. Iverson wasn't really dunking like that.
No.
But Iverson was crossing you over. He could get to the rim. But those other two guys, Rose and Russ, could finish above the rim. That wasn't Iverson's game. This kid can finish above the rim, Skip, and he's turned himself into a better shooter than those guys.
All right. So here's what happened. In the third quarter of this game, KD just goes off, as KD is capable of doing. And he goes 7 of 8 in the third quarter for 17 points. That's pretty good, right? Well, guess who on the other side? Desmond Bane goes for 19 on 7 of 9. Okay, so that counteracts from Kevin, 3. Okay? Then let's look at the fourth quarter, shall we? Look what Kyrie does in the fourth quarter. He scores 21 points. There aren't many humans alive who can score 21 in a fourth quarter. 21 on 7 of 9 and made both his two threes. Guess who on the other side? Well, Desmond Bane's contributing 13. So look what Desmond Bane does in the second half. He scores 32 points. Well, it's hard to if your second guy is going to get 32 just in the second half,
right,
you're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so can Royce O'Neal? Nobody could guard him. And listen, Desmond Bane is getting to where from 3, he just shoots it like a free throw. It's like a set shot. It's like feet on the floor. He just strokes it, and it just goes in. So if we could see, we're seeing some Desmond Bane here now.
Wow.
Okay, so the pivotal point of the game is it's still a 6-point game, and Kevin Durant goes down. It's with 3:29 left. Again, 6-point game, and he just bowls. I forget who was in his way, but he just gets a terrible offensive foul. He just knocks over. I think it's Dylan Brooks. Isn't it? Yeah, it's Dylan Brooks. Just knocks him over. Just drives right through him. And there's a little bit of flopping, but not that much. Okay. No, Kevin, you fouled him. And that basically ended the game, because if we could see how Desmond Bane then came down and drove last nails in the coffin, that's an offensive foul. So here's Desmond Bane, 3:22 left. he comes down and just strokes a three to put them up 9. And then he just says, well, I got this. And if you've added that to your repertoire, because he's not just a catch and shoot guy, he goes in with his left hand and just goes hard off the glass. And
But Skip, he's not built like a basketball player. He's built like a football player. You look at his upper body, he got caps on his shoulder. You're like, bro, how you shoot the ball and you built like that?
And I used to watch him at TCU, and I didn't see this, man, because this is spectacular stuff.
They turned themselves into a very good, but Skip, Ja started this season out on another level. I mean, I thought he could be good, and I thought he would long term. The only thing that scares me, Skip, he's so high up in the air and he spends so much time on the floor.
Totally agree.
That's the only thing that can.
Every time he goes up, I'm just wincing.
Because I mean, he's been unbelievable. I mean, he's my early season. He had an MVP vote for the first 3-4 games of the season.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Okay, but the problem is, remember last year he suffered and suffered. His knees just get battered. And so he's got all kinds of arthritic issues just because they're pounded and pounded and pounded because he's going too high for his ability to withstand coming down on hardwood floor.
Well, he's not, it's not like he's 200 pounds. I mean, what do you think John weighs, 175?
It doesn't look like much more than that. Maybe 180. I don't know. It's in that ball. I still can't figure out exactly how tall he is.
Yeah.
Again, 6'2"-ish?
Yeah, I would say 6'2"-ish.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's put together, though. I mean, he's stout.
Skip, they did a number on Ben Simmons and Royce O'Neal.
They did a number.
I mean, those supposed to be your defensive guys, Skip.
That's who you added to shore up that end of the floor. And unfortunately, they just gave up 134 at Memphis.
In regulation. But Skip, that's how they were going to win games anyway. Remember, even when they had Harden, their whole thing was to outscore you. But just for perspective, the guy with the 5th best defensive rating in the NBA, GOAT.
Really? Huh. Yet he ranks 142nd out of 152 three-point shooters. That kind of cancels that out.
Boy, you want to bet he won't finish that low?
Huh.
He'll be in the 80th percentile when it's all said and done. He about to catch 5 tonight.
Huh. What do you mean 80 percentile?
You said
he'll be in the.
You said he's 152. He's gonna move up 70 spots. That's
70 spots.
70.
Well, I think we have a bet that he's going to outshoot Kevin Durant from 3. So I'm kind of liking my chances.
I mean, Kevin Durant was 1 of 3 last night, wasn't he?
Yeah. LeBron is 7 for 27.
He was minus 10.
Huh. Yep. Yeah, but Kevin made 7 out of 8 shots in the third.
They lost.
Yeah. And 1 of
37 don't mean nothing. Cheap points, garbage points. Get them in mop-up time.
Yeah, but that duo, that's as dynamic as you can get, at least on one end of the floor.
Well, the bad guys keep beating that dynamic duo.
That is true.
They better go back to the Hall of Justice and get some more super
long
friends to help
season, and you got a lot more missed threes from LeBron James.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.